Hello students, today in this video we are going to cover complete poetry section of communicative English. Besides that, we will also discuss all the literary devices used in it. So stay tuned till the end to score good marks. So let's start with the first poem, The Frog and the Nightingale by Vikram Seth. Setting of the place is Bengal Bog. It's a wetland, so where the sumac tree located. Now, frog singing is harsh and unpleasant. Bog creatures dislike it. Nightingale sings melodiously, attracting huge praise. Frog pretends to be a great musician and criticizes the nightingale. He convinces the nightingale to train under him for a fee. He forces the nightingale to practice in bad weather, weakening her. He charges an entry fee as the crowd grows. She becomes overworked, sad, and weak, and she struggles to sing loudly. A vein bursts and she dies. Frog calls the nightingale stupid for lacking confidence. So, the student's moral of this poem is self confidence is key. Don't blindly trust false critics. So, now let's see the poetic devices used in this poem. Alliteration means repetition of consonant sounds. Bingle bog, repetition of B sound. Sing soft songs, repetition of S sound. So here in these two, we can say alliteration is used. Now imagery is also used. What is it? Vivid descriptions, creating mental pictures. Moonlight cold and pale. So it's a visual imagery. Frog puffed up with rage, descriptive imagery of anger. Personification, given human traits to non-human things. Ducks and herons waded in. Animals behaving like humans. Toads and teals and tiddlers captured. Crowd described as human audience. Irony, a contrast between expectation and reality. The frog with a terrible voice claims to be a great singer. The talented nightingale believes the frog's false criticism and loses her gift. Metaphor, indirect comparisons. The frog puffed up with rage. The frog's jealousy is compared to swelling anger. Symbolism, deeper meaning behind objects and characters. So the frog symbolizes exploiters and false critics. Nightingale represents innocence, talent, and insecurity. The crowd represents society that first praises but later loses interest. Repetition, words or phrases repeated for emphasis. And the nightingale was thrilled, emphasizing excitement and flattery. Hyperbole, exaggeration for effect. A cloud, a blur, a shape, emphasizes the nightingale's fading life. Rhyming scheme, a consistent AABB pattern, making the poem musical. Now let's see the next poem, Mirror. Let's see its theme, truth, aging, self-perception, and identity. Now mirror's nature, silver and exact, reflects without bias or alteration. The mirror sees itself as a four-cornered eye of a god. The mirror mostly looks at a pink speckled wall. It compares itself to a lake, reflecting the truth. Now women struggle, she looks into the mirror seeking her true self. Illusion versus reality. Candlelight and moonlight are liars, hiding reality. The woman drowns a young girl, seeing her older self. Now, final image, the old woman rises like a terrible fish, symbolizing fear and aging. Personification. The mirror is given human traits. I am silver and exact. I have no preconceptions. I am not cruel, only truthful. Now, metaphor, direct comparison. I am a lake. The mirror is compared to a lake reflecting reality. She has drowned a young girl in me. Youth is lost as a woman ages. Now, imagery, vivid description appealing to the senses. Faces and darkness separate us over and over. Visual description or visual imagery. Rises toward her day after day like a terrible fish. Symbolic imagery of aging. Now, alliteration. Whatever I see, I swallow immediately. Repetition of S sound. Day after day, like a terrible fish, repetition of D sound. Now, symbolism. The mirror represents truth and objectivity. The lake symbolizes depth of self reflection. Candlelight and moonlight represent illusions and false comfort. Now, the key points of Not Marble Nor the Gilded Monuments by William Shakespeare. So, theme of this poem is immortality through poetry, power of art over time and destruction. Decay of monuments. Statues and memorials built by rulers and the rich will crumble over time. Power of poetry. Poetry is eternal, outlasting war, time, and destruction. And monuments suffer from decay, destruction, and deterioration. Final judgment. The poet's word will preserve his friend's memory until the last judgment day. Now, the poetic devices alliteration. When wasteful war shall statues overturn, shall shine more bright. Imagery. Nor Mars his sword, nor war's quick fire shall burn, war and destruction. So, an image created of this. Unswept Sloane be smeared with sluttish time, ruined monuments. Now, personification. Stuttish time. Time is depicted as careless and destructive. Not Mars his sword, nor war's quick fire shall burn. War and destruction personified. Now, metaphor. Indirect comparison without like or as. Powerful rhyme. So, poetry compared to an eternal monument. Living record of your memory. So, poetry as a record that preserves one's legacy. Now, symbolism. Marble and monuments represents temporary worldly achievements. Poetry symbolizes immortality and lasting legacy. Irony. Rulers build grand monuments, but they decay. The poet's simple words last forever. Enjambment. A thought continues beyond a line without punctuation. Not marble nor the gilded monument of princes shall outlive this powerful rhymes. Now, the rhyming scheme A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. Phoebe Shelley's Ozymandias. It is a 14-line poem with octave and sestate. Theme impermanence of power and human pride. Ozymandias, a throne name of Egyptian Pharaoh Ramesses II. So it's a traveler's tale. A traveler describes a ruined statue in the desert. Only 2 legs remain and the head lies buried in sand. Now, sculptured skill. The sculpture accurately captured the king's arrogance and cruelty. Engravings irony. Declares Ozymandias as kings of king, but now his kingdom is gone. Mockery of power. The once mighty ruler's achievements have vanished. Final image. Nothing remains but endless sands, symbolizing time's dominance over human ambition. Now, poetic devices alliteration. The lone and level sands stretch far away. Repetition of L sound. Boundless and bare. B sound. Imagery. 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone. Visual imagery of the broken statue. The hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. Personification. The hand that mocked them. The heart that fed. Irony. Ozymandias wanted immortalize himself, but his statue is in ruins. The inscriptions boast of his power, but nothing remains of his empire. Metaphor. The lone and level sands symbolizes the vast emptiness left after Ozymandias' rule. Symbolism. The statue symbolizes human pride and ambition. The broken face represents the fading legacy of tyrants. The endless desert stands for timeless power over human achievements. Now, the next poem, The Rime of Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. The story frames an old mariner stops a wedding guest to tell his tale. Now, journey begins. The ship sails smoothly but is later caught in a storm. Stuck in ice, the ship gets trapped in a lifeless icy region. Now the albatross appears. A holy bird arrives, bringing good fortune. Ship moves again. The ice cracks and a south wind helps the ship sail. Mariner's crime. The mariner kills the albatross with his crossbow. Crew's reaction. First, they curse him for killing the sacred bird. Later, they think he was right as the bird bot missed. Punishment begins. The wind stops and the ship is stranded. Now, the poetic devices alliteration. The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew. Day after day, day after day. Imagery. The ice was here, the ice was there, the ice was all around. Visual imagery of being trapped in ice. Water, water everywhere, not any drop to drink. Contrast between abundance and thirst. Personification. The storm blast came and he was tyrannous and strong. Storm described as a cruel being. The sun came up upon the left. Sun described with human action. Irony. Opposite of what is expected happens. Water, water everywhere, not any drop to drink, means surrounded by water but dying of thirst. The sailor first cursed the mariner for killing the bird but later approves of it. Symbolism. The albatross is symbol of good luck and nature's blessing. The mariner represents guilt and human suffering. The ship's stand still symbolizes divine punishment. Now repetition. Alone, alone, all alone emphasizes isolation. Enjambment. The sun now rose upon the light. Out of the sea came he. The very deep did rot, O Christ. The sea compared to a rotting entity. Now the snake. Theme. Coexistence between humans and nature. Guilt and repentance. The poet goes to his water trough to drink water. Snake's arrival. A golden brown snake is already drinking. Poet's reaction feels fear and admiration at the same time. Inner conflict. Society tells him to kill the snake as it might be poisonous. Snake's departure. The snake finishes drinking and moves towards its hole. Poet's action. Throws a log at the snake but misses. Guilt and regret. He feels remorse for trying to harm his guest. Comparison to mariner. Feels like the ancient mariner who killed the albatross. Final thought. He wishes the snake would return, calling it an uncrowned king in exile. Now the poetic devices alliteration. Slowly, very slowly. Burning bowls. Imagery. He lifted his head from his drinking as cattle do. Visual imagery. And trailed his yellow-brown slackness soft bullied down. Sensory imagery. Personification. Giving human qualities to non-human things. And flickered his two-forked tongue. So snake given deliberate action. The voice of my education said to me. Education gives human qualities. Metaphor. The voice of my education represents social conditioning. The uncrowned king compares the snake to a royal figure in exile. Now symbolism. The snake represents nature, innocence and wisdom. The water trough symbolizes shared existence between humans and animals. Throwing the log represents man's irrational fear and violence. Irony, the contrast between expectation and reality. The poet is fascinated by the snake but still tries to harm it. Enjambment. He drank enough and lifted his head, dreamily as one who was drunk. Now repetition, emphasizing important ideas. And must wait, must stand and wait, highlights patience and hesitation.